Hello, welcome to the March 2026 edition of the Pinnacle Pulse Newsletter. This month we're trying something new. We're recording a video and audio version of the newsletter so that you can either read, watch or listen to the information as you choose. Now, as we progress through the year, March is a great time to accelerate our efforts and reinforce the strong groundwork we've established at the start of 2026. Now, this month we're bringing you some timely updates and practical insights across food safety, quality, work health and safety, environment to support continuous improvement in your management systems and give you confidence in compliance. So let's start with food safety. In February, we launched our first Zero to Hassett Masterclass. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Now, there is an on-demand access available. However, the magic does happen live. It's intended to be an interactive session where you can ask questions specific to your business, get real-time answers, and walk away with clear, no-fluff pathway to go from zero Hassett to a compliant Hassett system. We talk through some real scenarios, there's live Q&A, and some clarity you just can't get from the recording. Okay, let's start with food safety. In February, we launched our very first Zero to Hassett Masterclass. Now, there is an on-demand version available. Just let me know if you would like that. However, the magic happens live. This is an interactive session and is intended to be a forum where you can ask some questions specific to your business, get real-time answers and walk away with a clear, no fluff pathway to go from zero Hassett or no Hassett to a compliant Hassett system. So we do run through some real scenarios, live Q&A, and it's clarity you don't tend to get from a recording. Now, we are offering this one more time because there were some people that couldn't attend that wanted to, and I've had some requests post-event. So I'm not sure if we're actually going to run this live again. There will be a recording available, but we might not actually do it live. So if you would like to come along, please join us on the 20th of March. It's at 10 o'clock Australian Central Daylight Savings Time. There is a link in the newsletter if you would like to register your interest and be notified when the event is taking place. Or if you already know that you would like some additional support from us and you want to explore our services, please click on the alternative link below. We actually have our Hassett Accelerator program kicking off in April. Now, this is a weekly group coaching program where we actually build your system together from zero all the way through to being audit ready. Now, there's only 10 spots. We do this deliberately because we want to be able to give really personalised one-on-one experience to each of the attendees to make sure they get maximum value and maximum attention during the coaching program. Now, if you are SQF certified, we have some exciting news. SQF Edition 10 has been released. Now, don't worry, there's plenty of time to get up to speed if you are already certified. You won't need to be audited against the standard until early 2027. However, there are some really cool key changes that have occurred. One being food safety culture has been amplified and it requires you to have a food safety culture plan. There's also more emphasis on having a formal change management process to assess risks when there's changes in your business or to your management system, including equipment, materials, suppliers, in addition to processes and products. There's also a requirement to strengthen risk-based environmental monitoring programs. There's a requirement to improve training and competency and also enhanced supplier and supply chain oversight. So these are all really valuable additions to the code that are important for a food safety management system. Now, the changes do ensure that the system remains proactive, data-driven, and embedded across the organisation rather than just relying solely on procedures and documentation. Now, there are some things that you can do now. One, review your current food safety culture program. Look at the initiatives and leadership involvement, they're key. Ensure you have a documented change management process that is risk-based and triggers the risk-based actions that need to occur during a change. Assess your environmental monitoring program and look at your sampling strategy and make sure that is risk-based also. Review your training and competency records and program to ensure that key food safety roles are covered. You can conduct a gap assessment against SQF edition requirements. Now, so there's good news, you have time. Expected audit start date is the 2nd of January 2027, but the sooner you actually get across all of the changes, the better, because it gives you a chance to embed them, be comfortable with them, and be confident going into that audit. Now, we are currently preparing a range of SQF Edition 10 support resources. There will be some gap analysis tools, some templates if you don't already have them, and some implementation guides. And of course, we are here to support in one-on-one capacity if you like as well. Now, these resources will be available on our website next month. If you would like to be notified when they're available, just let us know and we'll make sure that you're on the mailing list for those. Now, there were some recalls over the last month. So in February, what we noticed was that there were oysters being recalled due to microcontamination, E. coli specifically, and also in fresh ricotta by Lavera. There is links to all of these recalls if you'd like to find out more information, but there was also some chemical contamination and foreign matter in 2 products, including Milo. Most of us know Milo products, don't we? But also some seaweed flakes. Now let's talk about quality management systems. More exciting news, ISO has commenced work on the next revision of ISO 9001, with the update expected to be released in 2026. We're not exactly sure yet when that will be, however, we'll keep you notified. Now, the core structure of the system will remain the same and it will be familiar to you already if you are ISO certified. However, it will be clarifying some of the requirements and ensure the standard continues to support organisations in managing quality, risks and performance in the evolving business environment. And we all know that that's a little bit dynamic at the moment. Now, what we're expecting to see is greater emphasis on managing organisational risks and opportunities. Now, that was introduced a while ago, but opportunities is definitely the focus here. It is also going to be strengthening customer focus and stakeholder expectations. It'll be improving the use of data and evidence-based decision-making on top of risk-based decision-making. Leadership and accountability for quality performance will be improved, along with supply chain and outsourced process management and aligning quality objectives with the business strategy. Now, some of you may already have that in place, which is fantastic. It was always the intent. However, the clarity will provide some continuous improvement there. Now, once published, organisations certified to ISO 9001-2015 will be expected to have a 3-year transition period. So ISO is really great that way in providing long transition periods to move to the new version. Now, it does seem like a lot of time, but early preparation again is key to making that transition smoother. And we strongly recommend you get started early so that you can gain confidence in the changes and how they're bedded down. You can fine tune them, but also gives you opportunity to test out the changes that you've made in some of the surveillance audits that you're going to be going through over the next couple of years. Now, what you should be doing is start with reviewing your risk and opportunities that you've already identified. Include some of the new and emerging trends that you're seeing, including the use of AI. Ensure your quality objectives align with the broader business goals and can link directly to your business strategy. Strengthen the use of data and performance indicators and use these to drive improvement in the business. So use the information that you're gathering. Review your supplier and outsource process controls and see whether they can be strengthened. and ensure leadership engagement is visible through quality strategy and performance oversight. Okay, now our team can support you. If you've got any questions, you'd like a gap assessment, you would like further updates as they come out, you need some auditor training or staff training, please feel free to reach out to us. In terms of work health and safety, we're seeing a few emerging issues. One of those is AI and technology risks. Now, we're a big fan of AI and automation. However, they're beginning to influence how organisations use information and identify and manage work health and safety workplace risks. Although AI can strengthen the risk assessment process by enabling the analysis of large volumes of data, identifying patterns and helping businesses to develop more effective controls, it can also introduce new risks. And in particular, algorithmic decision making. Now, this occurs when the system uses programmed rules or machine learning models to analyse data and generate recommendations with limited human input. Now, if the data is incomplete, biased, or poorly interpreted, it can lead to incorrect conclusions about hazards and appropriate controls. Now, there are also some emerging concerns around the increased worker monitoring and potential stress associated with digital surveillance. As organisations adopt AI in safety, these insights need to be balanced with the experienced judgment of people who understand the workplace and the work being performed. Consultation with workers is critical here to ensure that technology-driven insights reflect real-world practices and any new risks introduced by AI are properly identified and managed. Next on our list of emerging issues is the psychosocial hazards. They continue to dominate the agenda, and we saw this specifically in the Work Health and Safety Conference held in South Australia last year, and probably conferences all over Australia. Now, psychosocial health remains a major regulatory focus across Australia, and regulators are increasingly enforcing duties relating to psychosocial hazards, including work-related stress, bullying, sexual harassment, and excessive workloads. And peak safety bodies are now advocating for sexual harassment to be treated explicitly as a preventable work health and safety risk, and reinforcing the expectation that businesses manage these risks through formal work health and safety management systems. So there's going to be, of course, a flow-on effect there that incident reporting is in the spotlight, with new regulatory updates broadening work health and safety incident notification obligations. Employers may need to, depending on which state you're in, to report events such as workplace violence, suicide, attempted suicide linked to work, and log absences due to work-related psychological injury. This signals a clear shift towards recognising mental health injuries as equivalent to physical workplace injuries. Fourth on our list is climate-related safety risks, so heat and environmental exposure. With rising temperatures and extreme weather events, and we're seeing them all across Australia at the moment, there is an increasing focus on managing heat stress and environmental exposure risks. Updated professional guidance emphasise improved monitoring technologies and stronger controls for outdoor and high temperature workplace. In terms of environment, ISO has officially begun the countdown to revising ISO 14001, with the standard expected to be released in 2026. Now again, the core framework will remain the same and familiar to those with a certification to 14001. But it will be updated with greater emphasis on climate change, environmental performance outcomes, life cycle impacts across products and services, supply chain environmental impacts, leadership and accountability, and management of environmental risks and opportunities, with an emphasis on opportunities. Now, these updates aim to ensure that environmental management systems remain relevant in addressing the evolving sustainability expectations and regulatory pressures. So once published, organisations currently certified to ISO 14001 will have a 3-year transition period to move to the new version. Now, while it might seem like ample time, early preparation will make that transition smoother. One, you can test out your changes in your surveillance audits, and you can fine-tune them, bed them down, and make sure you're really comfortable before proceeding to the transition audit. Now, what you can do now is start with reviewing your environmental aspects and impacts register. Make sure that climate impacts, biodiversity and resource use are included. Strengthen life cycle and supply chain environmental considerations. Review your environmental objectives and performance indicators, and ensure leadership engagement and environmental strategy and oversight are linked. Now, how can we help? Well, our team is available if you need any support with the transition. We can conduct gap assessments. We can provide you with the tools you need to transition effectively. And we can also do some training. So feel free to reach out if you would like any support in any of these areas. Okay, until next month, good luck with your management systems, and we'll see you in April.